Hello, Lindsay. How are you today?
I'm feeling really good today. Feeling good today. The sun is shining in Denver. How about you, Aubrey? How's it going?
Excellent. I am
Good.
great. I have a question.
Okay.
Anybody you're going to run by and visit today?
Run by and visit. No, that's actually no visits today, unfortunately. I
Yeah.
wish, though. I wish I had family members really close by that I could just drop in on them,
Yes.
but they live
Yes.
on the other side of the country.
Yeah, right. I know it's tricky. It's always nice to have somebody that you're in that
Yeah,
pop in level, right? I have a
it
couple
really
neighbors
is.
now where we can just pop in at any time and it's not weird, but it
That's
takes a
very
while to
cool.
build the relationship. It's usually just family.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love that. So, what was the special verb you used to ask me that question? Just one more time at the top of the show. What did
Yeah.
you say?
So run by. We're
Run
going to
by.
dive into this today. There are some phrasal verbs with run that we use to talk about visiting or going somewhere. This is so native and natural instead to say run to, run by, run in. We use it a lot of different ways.
I love that. I love that. And this was inspired. Today's episode was inspired by a question in YouTube. Guys, we're over on YouTube. Check us out over there. This is from Dana Pack 4967. Aubrey, could you read Dana's question?
Yes, I said, I love your podcasts. They are so English. I love that. Could you please tell me what natives say instead of visit? Like, I visit my grandparents on Sundays. I love this question because I can tell this listener knows that this feels sort of formal and stiff to say,
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm
does.
going to visit. And they've
Yes.
likely heard a lot of other ways, but like sometimes you don't have a notebook there to keep note of it. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I got to find out. What's a better way to say this?
Yeah, I mean, we just, this is what we're doing on All Ears English. We're trying to become more human and less robotic in English, right? We learned kind of the robotic English in school and our textbooks, the one verb that feels too
Right.
formal. Now we're trying to become human and connect. So let's see how we
Exactly.
do it in this context.
Yes, and we did this has been a little while ago, but we did an amazing episode about this. It was you and Michelle, 1621. So you'd have to come back to our blog, search for 1621. It was called Visit, Stop By, and Swing By. What's the difference in English? So this was a pretty full and complete answer to that question. There are so many better, more native ways to say visit. You guys talked about pop by, pop over, stop by,
Right.
stop at, stop over, swing by. There's so many great ways to say this.
And there's still more, right? We're going to show today. I
Exactly.
mean, I love that. We didn't even
Yeah.
get close to finishing.
There's
Yes.
so many. I know. These are the ones that weren't covered in that episode. So go check that out for all of those meanings. And then we didn't talk about the ones with run, right? We'll
Yes.
often say run by, run over, run in, run to. So we're going to
Mm.
share how you can use these also to talk
Yeah.
about visiting or going somewhere.
And I wonder why run is a key verb here. Something tells me it's about not wanting to impose too much, you know?
Yes, right? If you're just, "Oh, I was just running by I'm just gonna run by." It's
Yeah. It's
interesting
like,
how it implies not a big deal if you're not there, we don't have to
right.
have it scheduled, it's just so no pressure, no.
And it also implies I could also run out quickly if, whatever's not a good time. So there's
Exactly.
something about that verb that does imply some kind of meaning. I'm trying not to impose, but I'd like to
Right.
see you, right?
Whereas a visit really feels like, "Ooh, we need to have this scheduled, we need to
Yeah.
have a plan to visit, I'm gonna be there for quite a while." It's
Yes.
amazing how much that sort of implies that it's more formal.
Yeah, I love it. This is really colloquial, really neighborhoodish, right? What we're learning today. I love it. This is how we
Exactly.
get to know people in our communities.
Yes. So let's dive in with the first one, which is run to. And this can mean visit, or it could also mean go. So we'll share examples how we use it both ways.
Oh, this is really common. So, for example, I'm going to run to my grandma's house, but it's not just
Yes,
family, Aubrey, right? With this one, this could just be you're going to the store, for example.
exactly. Yeah, so he said he's running to the store. I'm going to run to the store. So that's where this one's a little tricky because when you talk about your grandma, you do mean visit. I'm going to
Yeah.
run to my grandma's. It might be a quick visit, but maybe not. I could run to my grandma's and stay for 4 hours, right? It really just means
Yeah.
you're going to go, you're going to visit,
Yeah.
but such a more, like you said, it's flexible. It's flexible here. You have no idea how long I'm going to say when I say I'm going to run to her.
Yeah, and I could see how this could be interpreted literally if, we're at the intermediate levels of English. We don't literally mean that we're physically going to
Right.
run to the library. Just be careful there, right? Uh,
Exactly, right? I ran to the library earlier. I didn't really run. I
no,
mean, someone might have. They might have actually been running, but
sure.
likely not. This likely means they were driving and they just stopped by.
Yes, totally. Or I ran to the library earlier. Yeah, very common, super common. Should we move on
Yeah,
to the second one, Aubrey?
sure. I wanted to ask you quickly, Lindsay. In
Yeah.
my regional dialect growing up, we would often say run see. Like, let's run see grandma. I'm going to run see grandma. Was that common where you
Mm,
lived as well?
no, that
Okay,
that
no.
sounds kind of
It's
country
Northwest, I
language.
think. That's funny
Yeah.
because yeah, I Googled and I was trying to find I couldn't find it much, so I was like, "I'm gonna ask Lindsay." This you
No.
might hear this depending on where you are, especially in the States, but a little more rare. Let's
Yeah,
run see
a lit
grandma.
a little more rare. That sounds like I used to be, or at one point someone intended to say "run and see." I'm gonna
Oh,
run
yeah,
and
maybe,
see, and
and
then
they
it
drop "and."
eventually blended with the "n" became the "and."
Right?
The
We
"and"
don't have time to say the "and."
Right,
Run
right.
see.
Run and see, but
Totally.
I wouldn't say it. I would say, "I'm gonna run and see this person." I would say that for sure,
Yes,
but
run
run
and
see,
see.
no, not in my
Interesting.
vocabulary, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, the second one here is run by, and
Uh-huh.
this is a little different. It implies that you are already out or that you'll be out when you go, right? So,
Yes.
you wouldn't if you're home, you wouldn't be like, "I'm gonna run by grandma's." No, you would
Mhm.
say, "I'm gonna run to, I'm gonna stop by." There are a lot of other ways you would say it, meaning I'm going to go, I'm going to visit. Run by, it's like, I'm already out and I'm gonna
Right.
go somewhere, I'm gonna run by somewhere.
You could say it if you're at home, if you're describing what you're gonna do today. I'm gonna run to the store, and then I'm gonna run by grandma's house, and then I'm going to come home, right?
Right,
It's
and that
in
would
the
be because
middle
you're
of your
sort of
trip.
imagining yourself
Yeah,
already out when you do it,
exactly.
right? You're
Yeah.
saying like, "When I'm out, then I'll run by." Right,
Yes, yes. Real technicalities here, Aubrey.
totally. It's interesting, all the little nuances. So you might
Yeah.
say, "I'm gonna run by my grandma's tonight," and it is you're sort of putting yourself in the mental state of knowing, "Oh, I'm already at volleyball practice or something, and then I'm gonna run by grandma's on my way home."
Yes, exactly. Or I'm planning to run by Target on the way home. Do you want me to pick anything up for you? Right? That might be the context of what you're
Right, it's
saying
not
there.
just visiting a person, this can also be used just to mean go. And this does imply a quick visit, right? It's rare, I think,
Yeah.
you'd be like, "I'm gonna run by grandma's," planning to stay there for several hours.
Sure. Yes. Or I ran by the store on the way home, right? And picked up some milk and eggs. Typical stuff.
Exactly. Very
Yes.
typical. This phrasal verb is extremely common. We use it all the time to mean I'm going to go there quickly, I'm gonna stop by, run by.
All right, Aubrey. So the last one is run in. Now, tell us about this one. What do we
Yeah,
need
this
to
one's a
know
little
here?
different, right? It sort
Mhm.
of means you're already somewhere and then you're going to actually go in either to visit or for whatever reason, right? So
Right.
maybe we have both driven somewhere and I say, "I'm going to run in, want to come?" So we're already
Right.
there. Just another
Yes.
way of saying I'm going to go in.
I'm gonna go in. Essentially, it's just a more casual, maybe you're implying again you're gonna go in quickly by using that run instead of go. I'm gonna
Yes.
run in and I'm assuming you're gonna come back out quickly, relatively quickly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? This where if you're going to go and visit someone for a couple hours, you wouldn't say run in. You'd either say I'm going to go in or
Yeah.
I'm going to drop by, stop by, all these others that don't imply time. This implies you will be quick.
Yes, I love it. And today's episode, a lot of these phrasal verbs, they're really kind of phrasal verbs, aren't they? Would you
Yes,
say so? Yeah.
absolutely.
They're
Mhm.
phrasal verbs. They'll probably be highlighted in our real-time transcripts in the app, Aubrey. I mean,
Yes.
what a cool way to learn. Guys, we want to recommend that you get the app. Go to allearsenglish.com/app. We have added some new speed variations. You can choose to listen on 1.1x, 0.9x. We don't think you can do this on any other podcast player currently.
No, this is so helpful because often for me, 1.5 or 2 will be just a little too fast or a little too
Right.
slow. So it's so nice to be able to make that more specific to the speed you want to hear it at.
Yeah, 1.75. We've built a lot of new customization in there. So guys, check out the app at allearsenglish.com/app. And we're going to hear these phrasal verbs now in a role play. Yeah?
Yes, and speaking of role plays, I'm most excited about this addition to the app.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
get these
right.
really fun in the bonus premium feed, we are doing role plays
Yes.
that recap the vocab from the entire week. I think that's so
Yes.
useful to be able to see all this vocabulary that you're learning, trying to add to your active vocabulary, to hear it all in a role play.
Yeah, we can call these the role play recaps.
Yes,
Only
love that.
in the app. Right now, they're not available anywhere else. So go over there to review all of the keywords that you learned that week, any given week. All right,
Yes.
cool.
Awesome. All right, let's dive in here. You and I are sisters in this role play, Lindsay.
All right, sounds good. So let's go.
All right, I'm going to run to grandma's. I have a birthday present for her.
I'll come with you. Can we run by the grocery store on the way home?
For sure. I'll wait in the car while you run in.
Yep, sounds very typical, very natural and
Yep.
native,
Yep.
right?
And you
Mhm.
absolutely would use all of these in the same conversation like this because they
Yeah.
have different meanings. It doesn't feel weird at all.
Yeah. So first thing you said, I'm gonna run to grandma's house, and what you really would say, the way that would sound for me is I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. Right.
Good
That's another
point.
episode for another day.
Yeah, we're
But
not saying I'm going to run.
yeah.
We're running it all
I'm gonna
together.
I think we could do a cool episode on that in the future, Aubrey, around that phrase I'm gonna run. The pronunciation
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna interesting. And then there is no time here, right? I'm gonna run to grandma's. I could
Yeah.
stay for a while. It could be a
Mhm.
quick visit. You don't know.
Right. And then what did I say?
And you're saying, I'll come with you. Can we run by the grocery store? And this does imply very quick, right? I just need to grab something quickly on the way.
For sure. Good. And then you said, for sure, I'll wait in the car while you run in. So the assumption there is that, again, you're going to be quick in the grocery store.
Right, because you've said run by. I know you're going to be quick. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll wait in the car. And this might be me confirming. I'm like, yeah, if it's quick, I'll wait in the car
Oh,
while
yeah.
you run in. And that's your
Run.
chance to be like, I'm gonna be a while.
Make sure you run in and run back out. Yeah,
When
we're
I
not
said I'm gonna run by the grocery store, I meant that I need to go for a while.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There is an implication here, right? If I'm gonna
Yeah,
wait for you, we're not doing a full weekly shopping trip. A full
exactly.
trip. You're grabbing something like milk or eggs, something you forgot.
Right. We're
You
gonna be
know?
on our way to grandma's, so don't be getting
Yeah.
anything refrigerated. We don't wanna deal with that
Exactly.
right now.
Make it quick. Make it
Yeah.
quick. Any takeaway for our listeners? Where should we leave our listeners today? What should they think about?
Yeah, there are so many ways to say visit in English. I love this listener's question because you don't want to have to say visit all over. Like you said, Lindsay, you learned this in a textbook. This is the
Yeah.
one verb you're given. There are
Yeah.
so many better ways to say visit.
So many better ways. And the key is make sure you're visiting people, right? There should be people that you're dropping in on, running by their homes and building those connections. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Right. Make those connections so that you can run by somebody later today. You too,
I love
Lindsay.
that. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, Aubrey, you have a good day.
You too.
Talk to
Bye.
you soon. Bye.